Hey guys. Hi. Hi, I see you. Hi, Alexandria, Candy, and Carla, and Cindy, and DJ, and Diane, and Heather, and Jennifer, and Joanne, and Monica, and Moto. Is that your real name? Kathy, Joanne, Gina. Uh-oh, it's starting to go fast. April, Amy Sprite. Okay, it's going too fast. Hi, Candy. Glad to see your COVID test was negative. Okay, so this is a little awkward. I'm gonna have to I'll pull this down when I'm gonna do ceremony, because otherwise you guys are gonna be staring at my boobalas. All right, okay. Whew, it's a little racy. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Say hi in the chat. Let me know if you're new. Thank you for my beautiful card, Diane. That was so lovely. Loved it. Okay, let's everybody turn off your cell phones. I'm going to turn off my email. We're going to carve out a sacred space for us to be together here in the sacred space that is our space. Hi. Oh, Alexandria says, hello from Christina and Alex in New York. The leaves are piled high. We had crazy tornado wind on Sunday that brought the last of them down. It's freezing tonight in the 30s. It's dark too soon. And tea with Zhena is warm and good. Aw, totally. Tea together is warm and good. Tea with us. I have the best crew in the world, all of you. Hi. Oh, Heather, good to see you. Wonderful. So I started my day today at 5 as usual, and was prepping for a lot of videos, and I hope they turned out okay. You know, sometimes it can be a little crazy, making 8 or so videos in a day. I get ideas. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I got my hair blown out for the video shoot. Makes me feel more organized. Yeah, thank you, Kamala. So tonight I want to hear how, before we start the actual circle, I want to hear a little bit of feedback about how your stress breaker, your spell breaker word went last week. I think what was mine? One of you guys, was it puppy licks? I ended up lifting one of yours from everyone or from someone else. I liked puppy licks. Yeah. So if you were here last week, what we did is we came up with a stress word, a word to break our stress spell. And it was, some of them were beautiful and spiritual. Some of them were funny. Mine was a cuss word because that's kind of how I roll. Oh, Cindy, are you the one who came up with puppy licks? I shared it with my kids too. I'm like, my son's going on a road trip right after Thanksgiving in the snow to go pick up his friend in Boulder in a Mazda SUV. Anyway, I can't even. So every time I was trying to talk to him about it, I'm like, puppy licks. It's just like, stress. So, oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, these are new. These are going to be on the site soon. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's like a magician star. And then these earrings too. Yeah, I've been shopping like a crazy maniac. So anyway, so yeah, these are all new. These are going to be on the site soon. Okay, good. So Karen said hers helped a little. It made you laugh, Gina. Hi, Candace. Yeah, so basically breaking the spell of a stress word is just doing something to kind of get you out of the zone of the hook, right? So when we gather ourselves here, we are unhooking all the things from our stress level. That's funny, Candy. Okay, well, so just know that that's something, hi Edith, that's something that that's basically something we can do. One sec. So I'm going to actually just get us started on the tea ceremony. Okay. So I'm going to make Moringa Moon, my current favorite. This is this month's tea. And I love Moringa Moon. I've been drinking it blended with Thin eraser in the morning. It's my new favorite thing. I'm gonna just have you guys blend it up if any of you have Sin Eraser and taste it. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm putting some Moringa Moon in my teapot. And you can see there you go. I'm going to pour this. And when my daughter and my cousin get home from grocery shopping, I'm going to give them some of this too. Okay, so I'm gonna let that steep. Moringa is great for menopause, for symptoms of menopause, which I'm in perimenopause. And it's great for skin, helps beautify the skin. It's high in protein and iron. It's considered the miracle tree, and it grows quickly. And I made it taste, this Moringa Moon, I made it taste like a gingerbread cookie. I'm going to read you the, this is Child's Pose. This was me spilling Child's Pose earlier. Gotta love it. Gotta love the roses in Child's Pose. Okay, so I'm just going to rinse this out a little. As you pour your tea into your cup, let your energy centers feel your body becoming energized. Beautiful. And here we are. Woo, that's hot. Grab your cup of tea. Grab your cup of tea. And now bring back all the parts of yourself that you gave away throughout the day, throughout the week, right? Any worries, bring them all back, soothe them, bring them all back inside. Everything back. Any concerns, stresses, communication glitches, even any happy things that you might be feeling attached to, right? In the present moment, all we have is the breath in the present moment and this cup of tea. Okay, so bring all the parts of yourself back. And now let's take a breath into the heart. Fill your chest with fresh breath and exhale. Now breathe into the heart. Expand it and fill your cup with your delicious energy. And with the third breath, expand into the room, past the room. See if you can fill your apartment building or wherever you live with the bright, intense green energy of your light and your love, the truth that is you. And exhale. You can wiggle a little. Okay. So ask yourself how to recenter now. Recenter from the week, from the day, from the hours at play, from the minutes, from the crazy schedule I've been juggling. Ask yourself how you may recenter, or actually ask yourself, how is it that I so perfectly recenter? So the exercise my therapist gave me yesterday. How is it possible that I so perfectly recenter at all times, right? So then ask yourself, what do I hear? And listen. You might hear your intuition. You might hear dogs barking. You might hear your refrigerator running. What do you hear behind that? What do you hear beyond that? Take note. Now ask yourself, what do I see? What do I see? What do I see? Okay. I'm Tasting honey stuck to my hands already. Okay, now ask yourself, what do I feel? Remember, sensation, sensation, not emotion necessarily, but sensation. I feel here in my body right now, sensation, right? And now ask yourself, what do I smell? Moringa Moon's just killing me these days in all the best ways. What do I smell? Yeah. And as you bring the cup to your lips, ask yourself, what do I taste? Mm. I love the fatty feeling of moringa. It's got a creamy mouthfeel because it's really high in protein and essential fatty acids. So it coats the mouth beautifully with the ginger. What do I taste? Mm. Mm. Okay, my loves. All right. Well, first, I'm going to read you a few things about aromatherapy. And, I started out as an aromatherapist and herbalist. And so I always like to bring in some aromatherapy knowledge and awareness for all of you, so that as you're looking at your teas and as you're choosing them throughout the day, the smell of them will teach you also what your body needs. So I use essential oils in safe and diluted quantities in the teas, as well as I use a lot of spices and herbs in order to create a full aromatherapeutic sensory experience. And so I wanted to read you some of the most common spices that I use in the teas, because 9 times out of 10, if you have more than one of my teas, you'll have many of these in your tea. So one thing that I use a lot of in all the chais, as well as Lucid Dreams has a lot of this, as well as Moringa Moon and others, is I'll use, actually Moringa Moon doesn't have it. It has, yeah, this one I put nutmeg instead of cardamom, but this is cardamom, okay? So the emotional healing, so the physical healing of cardamom is digestive stimulant, stomach, it helps stomach, it's a diuretic, it's an expectorant. So during the cold and flu season, it'll bring things up and out if you get sick. And the emotional healing side of cardamom is it encourages clarity, concentration, direction, motivation, straightforwardness, enthusiasm, confidence, and courage. Just that. So if you look at your tea like, oh, she adds a lot of cardamom to these, know that there's a reason behind it. There's the reason of the flavor and the taste, and then there's also the reason behind it is the aromatherapy and the health benefits behind it. So everything I do for you is very intentional, and so by you understanding that, it helps you to expand your experience with your own tea ceremony and your own relationship to healing and tea. And so now cinnamon, excuse me. The physical healing aspect of it is it's an antiseptic, it's a stimulant, antispasmodic, as well as it's anti-infectious. So it helps fight off infections. And then the emotional healing is it encourages invigoration, benevolence, strength, and energy. I use a lot of cinnamon, especially here in the Moringa Moon, but cinnamon encourages invigoration, benevolence, right? We all could use a little more of that, strength and energy. So that's, cinnamon is a really important spice for us. Clove encourages stimulation. So I add a lot of cloves to the chais, Moringa Moon, Lucid Dreams, all of that. So stimulation is, what are we stimulating, right? So what do you want to stimulate when you drink these teas? What do you want to stimulate when you are having your tea ceremony? Do you want to stimulate more positive thinking? Do you want to stimulate forgiveness? Do you want to stimulate a new project? So always be thinking about, each herb and each spice in every tea has a purpose behind it. So the intentionality of your tea ceremony and of us gathering in tea ceremony in general, it's so much broader than just a cup of tea. And I don't know if you know the story, I'll tell it now, but I'm sure I'm telling it wrong, but one of my mentors told it to me. And there was a man walking by a row of workers on the road, and they had big blocks and stacks of blocks, and they had them setting on the side of the road, and they were stacking them. And he asked the first one, he said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm stacking blocks." And he said, "Oh, okay, got it." So then he went to the third one, and the third one was stacking the blocks. And he said, "Well, what are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a wall." Okay. So it's like, all right. So then he gets to the third one and he says, "Well, what are you doing?" And he says, "I'm building a cathedral." Right? They're all stacking blocks, but one of them's just stacking blocks, one of them's building a wall, and one is building a cathedral. And that's tea ceremony, right? That's what we're doing. We could just be having a cup of tea, or we could be building a cathedral, right? We could be connecting to our soul and to the world. We could be taking mindfulness and touching the divine, right? So elevating and putting into context your why as to why you do what you do is so important, because what it does is it brings you the balance, and it brings you also the great vision, and the great vision of your internal thoughts and concepts, as well as what you would envision for yourself. Are you having a cup of tea, or are you creating a conscious connection with you and the universe, or with you and your heart, or with you and a loved one? So it really does put into context why we do what we do, because otherwise it's just a simple cup of tea. Or is it? Okay. Just a few things I was going to read to you from that, and then I'm going to read to you. And I have an exercise for you today, a practice for this week. And this is from the Little Tea Wisdom book. One of you guys have it. This is, "She may want a martini, but make her drink tea." Alice Taylor. I thought that was funny. "You may want a martini, but make her drink tea." And this is another funny one, which I really like. This reminds me of all of you. "She had that brand of pragmatism that would find her the first brewing tea after Armageddon." Clive Barker. I'm going to reread that. "She had that brand of pragmatism that would find her the first brewing tea after Armageddon." Isn't that funny? I love it. I love it. Okay, my loves. So last week we worked on creating a safe word that would break the spell of stress. Okay. And so this week I wanted to share some thoughts with you, and have us reflect a little bit on a couple thoughts I've had this week as I've been thinking about what we would do this Tea Tuesday, and what would give us meaning, and what would give us context, right? The building of a cathedral. We're here building context for our lives. So what gives our lives meaning, right? What gives our lives value? What gives our lives an elevated sense of consciousness? And it's often not, the mundane, but we can elevate the mundane easily, right? So every single thing we do can create meaning, even if it's doing laundry, right? So Jack Kornfield says, "Rapture, then laundry." So it could be rapture and laundry, rapture while laundry. And that's what my last book was about, Love in Detail. Everything is about infusing the daily motions, the daily everything with love. And today, this week's practice will be based on the following ideas and thoughts. Okay. So I've been listening to James Hollis, Dr. James Hollis, and he wrote a book called The Middle Passage. And I'm going to be hosting, we're going to be doing a January cleanse, which I just designed, and it's really exciting. It's only 8 days this time, but then after that, I was thinking, if you are all interested, we could do a Magic Hour book club. And it'll be, and the first book I want to read is The Middle Passage by Dr. James Hollis, because it's been really powerful for me, totally life-changing. And I've been in this process, shadow work, Jungian sort of therapy process that has completely transformed my life. And I want to share that with you, and I want to share the book with you and go through it. So, tea and books, I mean, other than jewelry and incense and perfume, I don't know what else there is. Okay, good. So you guys like it. Oh, good. Oh, good, good, good. Okay. Oh, and shoes. Yeah, Candy, you're so practical. Okay, great. So, so James Hollis said something maybe exact or to this nature in one of the books I'm reading, and it's way more esoteric. It's not as clear as the middle passage, but it's about the inner work we do with our active imagination. And so, so one thing he said is that nature is just nature, and people are just people, and things are just things. It's us, the human, that gives it meaning by appreciating it, or by like appreciating it as well as observing its beauty, or telling it it's beautiful, or reflecting on its beauty. And so through our reflection and admiration and appreciation of all the things that are in our lives, be it a cup of tea, or be it a connection with a stranger, or be it a tree, everything, it has no meaning until we give it meaning, right? So the whole idea that there's nobody else out there. So, but we're reflecting back on all the beauty and all the things of the oneness. And so, so we give things meaning by noticing them. Okay. And we, through appreciation, we elevate and give everything, even inanimate objects, meaning. And so the point of this is that, yeah, Brandy, that is a great book. I love that book. And we can definitely talk about doing that down the way. But one thing is that treasures are born from our appreciation. So I wrote that today thinking, like, you know, I can have an inanimate object, right? I can have a matcha whisk, or as one of my bloopers today in the video, matcha whisker. It's like whiskers. Anyway, so, you know, I can have this whisk, and it can mean very little to me, right? It can just be a piece of bamboo. But what gives this meaning for me is that somebody by hand carved this out of one piece of bamboo. A person spent probably out an hour, 2 hours carving this out of a piece of bamboo and making it just so. The awe just of that is what tea ceremony is about, right? So they appreciate the cup in Japanese tea ceremony. They turn it, I think it's 4 times this way, and observe it. Everything's about noticing and elevating it through giving it appreciation and attention and meaning. So say you have this inanimate object and you look at it, and then you say, wow, somebody actually tied the string through and weaved it. Sorry, I've been shooting since 7. This is woven through every little piece of bamboo, right? And then they heat etched our little logo and all the details into it. And suddenly this becomes precious because it's life, right? Somebody put their life force into this. Somebody actually sat and spent hours making this. That has a lot of meaning to me. So I'm going to, you know, really be careful with it. I'm going to put it back in its case. I'm going to be grateful for it. I'm going to give it meaning. Therefore, I'm going to elevate it to something of the divine, right? That's how everything is in life. Okay. So if you're appreciating and adding meaning to an inanimate object, that's one thing, but adding meaning to another person also, that can either be projection, which is dangerous, or it can be lovely if it's an appreciation. So Gay and Katie always say, you know, in every relationship, I think it's 6 appreciations to every one, constructive criticism. So we elevate and we create the beauty of the planet and the beauty of our lives through giving everything meaning. What meaning are we giving things? Okay. So that's the real practice this week. I'd like all of you to really notice when you're giving something a meaning that is diminishing it or elevating it, that is shrinking its value, or appreciating it, making it bigger, making it bolder, making it, you know, seen. And I think it was Erykah Badu, was not Erykah Badu. There was another, there was a woman who was speaking of this not that long ago. And she said, I think it was Erykah Badu, but she was saying that when you get a producer who loves your music, you rise, your music becomes so elevated, right? And so when I make videos, I love John, my videographer. We've been friends for like 10 years. He's been to the tea fields with me in Sri Lanka, and he and I appreciate each other. We crack each other up. We have a blast together. So we make our work more meaningful, and we make the videos more fun because we have a state of appreciation, and we've added meaning on, because we're good friends, and we've added meaning, the meaning of our friendship into the videos we make. So all of that is where our lives become more and more depth and more meaningful and more precious. And I'm here to live a precious life. I'm here to live an appreciated life. I'm here to truly live and to not close off to life. And oftentimes that is the simple practice of coming back into our thoughts and realizing we're diminishing the meaning of our life, or we're elevating and appreciating it. So what are we doing with our minds, which are meaning machines, right? How are we creating true meaning for ourselves in all we do? So thanks, Linda. Okay. So thanks, Linda. Oh, I laugh on my videos because I'm a dork, and also because John makes me laugh. We have a blast together. You know, when somebody's funny, all of a sudden you're funnier. Yeah. Today he was really funny because he doesn't drink caffeine. Only when he's with me, he drinks caffeine. That's it. So today he had a really special matcha drink. I can't wait to share with you guys. God, it's so good. Anyway, and he was bouncing off the roof, off the ceiling. So tell me, thank you. So tell me what meaning, like what is something that means a lot to you? What is something that creates that, where you create meaning around it? It could be a bath. You know, ritual baths are incredible and so important. It could be a simple, you know, walking your dog, you know, that connection and exercise and being in nature. My husband walks our dog every day, and it's a thing for him. He loves it. Like, what is something that you give meaning to that really you feel the more you appreciate it, it elevates every aspect of your life? Yeah, Brandy, bedtime meditation. Absolutely. Oh, Edith, I love that. You're a chemist. Chemistry was my favorite class in high school. I do food chemistry now, right? My job as a chemist is meaningful because it helps others. I love that, Edith. Can't wait to hear more about what you make. Oh, and yes, cooking for other people. Oh, so meaningful. So meaningful. I love it. Dr. Cherie, hi, Levy. Baths are huge for me. Love that. Jennifer, my morning drives to work watching sunrise. Oh, yeah. Noticing that, right? Instead of like just driving, you're noticing, right? You're elevating. A friend of mine told me his art teacher in London told him to get a studio with a vast view. He said, you'll be able to be as creative as far as you can see, which I love. Elmira, watching hummingbirds. Oh, yes, I love hummingbirds. We have so many here. I watch them all the time. Elaine, yes, when I make a salad with lots of colors, absolutely. That is a beautiful, beautiful, in the moment ritual, elevating your food, and then pouring that love into your food elevates it and makes it healthier and more nurturing for you. Candy, my cat climbing up on my lap and immediately going to sleep when I get home. Oh, like your kitty's been waiting all day for you. Venus does that to me. I have this huge white calico. She's like so heavy. She's 18 pounds. She just plops on my chest and just crashes. I love that. Oh, Magella, let me know if I'm saying that right. Love my singing bowl. Absolutely. I love my singing bowls. April, my miracle morning. Yeah, every morning's a miracle. Yes. Amy, morning shower, appreciate my body, also washing away fear, self-doubt. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, in the shower, giving the shower more meaning. Oh, there goes that false idea. Oh, there goes that illusion. I love that, Amy. I love that. Tina, I get up extra early, 4:30 a.m. Yeah, I'm up around then or 5 and love the quietness. I get up, sit in another room, I make tea, listen to gospel music and set the tone for me to pray and read my Bible. Oh, I love that. How gorgeous. My grandma Maria, who taught me how to make tea, it was like cup in this hand, the Bible in this hand. I remember her being on her knees, in the morning light coming down on her, just praying and praying. And I love that. June, FaceTime with my son in Hawaii. Oh, yes, connecting to our babies. I love that. Gina, love when my dog lays next to or on top of me when we go to sleep. I know they love us so much and they're such healers. Animals are such healers. Cindy, I've loved photography since I was a child and take time to appreciate the light several times a day. My son's a photographer and he's excellent at light. And so I love that. I love when he captures the light. It makes you so conscious. Um, Cynthia, I really make my tea a ritual sitting in my studio watching the birds. Yes, tea is my ritual too. It's my grounding force as well. Melissa, reading astrology charts and tarot cards and listening to music. Ooh, you're going to like January. Linda, the tenderness with which I hold my teacup and watch the water as I pour it with gratitude to have clean water and fire to heat it. Yes, love, absolutely. Karen, baking, yes. Diane lights candles every night, many candles every night. Yeah, I do that too. I just have to make sure I don't do it when I'm too tired. I've been burning this candle all day today. So I love, these are the phases of the moon candle, and it was so lovely. Candles are such a precious thing. Oh, Lisa, my kitty purring at night. Aren't purrs? I think they're prayer. I think purring is God saying, I love you. I totally agree with that. Oh, Edith, that is exciting. I published Kiss the Ground, the book. Check it out. And the movie, it's on Netflix. Definitely, let's be in touch. I'll introduce you to the author if you don't know him already. Natasha, baking bread and how you can create so much with one batch of dough, how you mold the loaf or roll it out, which gives it a whole different texture and mouthfeel, then the scent of it when it bakes and the joy the bread gives when it is eaten. Yeah, my grandma Maria baked so much bread every day. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. So Jennifer, I need to start doing the shower thing, right? We all learn from each other, right? Claudia, oh, you're welcome, Angel. You're welcome. Oh my God, Gina's dog is 73 pounds. Wow, talk about a weighted blanket. You get one of those that breathes. Joel, hi Joel, how are you? When I produce a new record, I always want to be open to new ideas and taking risks. Timing is everything. The greatest idea today could have been the worst idea 6 months ago. Yeah, allowing your creativity to put you in the present moment is very important. And instead of using past ideas or past rejections or past, you just go, oh, actually, that sounds good now. I love that. Beautiful. Using an app. Yeah. Brandy uses an app to meditate and diffuses her oils and performs a little fascia release on her hands. I love that you do that. Beautiful. Okay, so there's so many good ones. Make sure you all read each other's over here. Serafina, baking bread's definitely part of her religious ceremony, especially in the winter. It connects her to her ancestors. Yes. My grandma Maria, baking bread and sipping tea in the kitchen was everything. My cousin, who was raised by my grandma Maria, we were both there all the time. She's here staying at this is our corporate house, and she's staying here with me, helping with the HR stuff, getting everybody's job descriptions written up and everything. And we've been reminiscing a lot about my grandma Maria and baking bread and sipping tea and being in heaven in there. I love it. So Navdej, waking up in the morning, body gratitude. I love you, head, eyes, ears, mouth. Oh, massaging lightly or vigorously as needed. All down To the soles of my feet before I get out of bed and say thank you. May you be happy. How beautiful. I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. I mean, just these alone, we could put these in a little book for each other. Amy Sprite, okay, and Tina. Okay. Yeah, Tina, I can do that. I can make the ceremonial matcha tonight for you after we close the circle if you would like. I love it. Okay. Well, you guys teach me so much. The thing about us learning from each other and sharing is we realize our oneness. We realize that we are a circle of love and wholeness, and that together we are more whole, and that there's not just how many 80 or so of us tonight, but there's 8 million of us, because all the little connections we make just multiply, right? There's a butterfly effect of love that happens when we are together. And look at how we learn from each other. I learned so much just now of things I want to do. I love that we're all here and that we're learning from each other. So thank you for honoring me and the rest of the circle with your beautiful rituals. Okay, so tonight the reading is going to be from this deck, Elena Fairchild, one of our favorites, the Lightworkers Oracle. Because I know that we are all light workers. Otherwise, we would not be here working our light, right? Okay, so I'm going to do a reading for us, and then we'll end with questions. And I have not eaten today. I did a video today about intermittent fasting. I'm taking it a little far today. So I'm gonna go from here to making dinner for my daughter, Mia. And my husband took our son to his men's group tonight. It's pretty exciting. His first time at 20 going to my husband's very long running men's group. So I hope that that is productive, because being a 20-year-old boy at this during COVID is not an easy, I mean, it's not easy for any of us, but it's hard to launch during a pandemic. Okay, so this reading, the intention behind this reading is to inspire each of you to keep working your light and bringing your light to the world. It's to allow insights into your brilliance and your perfection, and into the divinity that resides profoundly in your heart. So may it serve all of us individually, all of us as a circle, all of us as a community, and the world at large. Wow, beautiful. So you know how we do our heart breaths for our tea circle? This is initiation by air. I'm going to read this now, number 24. I'll hold it up. Initiation by air. You have a strong and powerful mind. The mind can be a great asset. It can bring comfort, peace, and strength as you take your spiritual journey. It can also be a dark and destructive force, undermining your power, making you doubt your own heart, and keeping you trapped in fear. The mind, developed without a loving spiritual practice, can be a frightening weapon rather than a liberating sword. How will you choose to use your mind power? I've been doing shadow work, Jungian shadow work, from stuff from my childhood that was still trapped in my mind and I didn't realize it. Or as one of you mentioned, the body keeps the score. It's in the body, but it's in the mind. So I definitely know I was beating myself up incessantly, myself and my husband, being really critical. And it was this exact thing where suppressed anger, not only does it make us gain weight and become obese oftentimes or cause cancer, it can also diminish. That's why today I was talking about everything we appreciate grows and elevates. And so our minds can grow and elevate, or it can take us down into a path of negativity. But you can't deny the negativity. You have to walk through it. You can't deny your shadow. You have to be with it and love yourself, not in spite of the shadow, but in compassion of the shadow. And so this is a good card for what I've been going through, and let's hope it resonates with you all too. Your mind can become more spacious and luminous if you practice emptying it on a regular basis. the way we empty our cups and do ceremony. The radiant mind can be a mighty warrior against fear and despair, encouraging you with thoughts of optimism. When not given a chance to empty, however, the mind becomes overwhelmed with unprocessed information. Much of it will be fear-based programming perpetuated by mass media, which is invested in controlling others and manipulating them by fear. So you buy more, by the way. This initiation, which liberates and opens the mind, empowers advanced souls to free themselves from manipulation and control. Pretty good. The hallmark of a dysfunctional society is that the mind is expected to dominate the inclinations of the heart rather than serve it. 100%. The mind can be trained to be a great manager, creator, and defender of what has genuine value to the heart. But the power to feel what has meaning for us, what moves us enough to rise above our fears and risk growth, comes from the heart, not the mind, which is why we focus on heart breath. Okay, we're not brain breathing. When the mind is given to the task to feel and the heart is told not to feel, paralysis, confusion, and discomfort are experienced. As you enter into this initiation, you will feel the need to step back from what you have been taught and learn to question what you once held to be true. As you disengage from habitual mental patterns, you will begin to observe your thoughts rather than be swept up in them. Soon, you will begin to experience yourself as the peaceful, steady light of love that you are in truth. Yes, you are. Will the mind go through its motions? Yes. However, there is no need to be afraid of this. One step at a time, your spirit shall guide your mind back towards peace. You will change the way you relate to your own mind, becoming more empowered. As you soften the strident action of the mind, you will see that you can use your mental gifts wisely rather than allowing them to cause you pain. Those who have strong mental energies can accomplish much in terms of communication, invention, and creativity, but they also often suffer from destructive self-talk and mental obsessions. Sorry guys, I hope you're getting something out of this, but this one's definitely, yeah, negative self-talk was my poison. They may even be addicted to thinking. Any of you addicted to thinking? Putting like, meaningless meaning on things, which can wear them out and create cravings for sugar that can lead to depression and illness. Well, I taught today how to get off sugar, so that's also really good. It's amazing she ties sugar in with negative thinking. Brilliant. Instead, it is much better to regularly take time out from the mind and be in the moment, feeling energized, playful, and at peace. Your mind is a powerful creature. Tame it with persistence, compassion, kindness, and strength. Give yourself rest and an opportunity to switch off and empty your mind as regularly as you can, which is the process of tea. There is no need to judge or despair. This is an advanced initiation and one that is brought to you only when you are ready. Consider it a sign of your spiritual progress. The world will benefit from you as you learn to handle your mental energies more constructively. This oracle is indeed an omen of greater peace and happiness in your imminent future. And here's the invocation. Okay, I'm going to read this. You guys can close your eyes and just listen. I call upon the unconditionally loving ones to help me empty and refresh my mind, renewed in eternal love. May I express my freedom in making wise decisions that create joy and love in me and in the world. I ask for divine mercy, compassion, protection, and instruction to assist me in bringing my mind into loving consciousness. May the light of the divine shine unobstructed through my mind, bringing peace to the world. May the unconditionally loving helpers of humanity help bring light, healing, and joy to the minds of all through my own free will. So be it, and so shall it be. Bam, as they say in middle school. That was beautiful. Any thoughts? Yeah. Beautiful, huh? Okay. Oh, good. Yeah. So we can give things meanings of love and joy and peace and elevation and divinity, or we can give them meanings of, negativity and criticism and judging. Like I said last week, there's no red and blue. There's not. That's make believe. There's human and human. There's heart and heart. There's soul and soul. The mind's where everything gets all effed up, right? So using your amazing mind to give things meaning will elevate your daily life, your daily moments. And loving your shadow, loving your subconscious shadow and bringing it to the light is how we integrate, right? Okay. I know one of you wanted me to show you matcha, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to boil water and I'll stick around. So if any of you want to go, I love you all. I will see you next week, next Tuesday. And it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So we're going to be creating a really beautiful gratitude exercise together in deep, deep gratitude for all that is and all that shall be in our lives and in our daily existence. Okay, so is anybody sticking around? Okay, Tina's sticking around. Okay, love you guys. You're free to go. I'm going to boil a little water. I'll be right back. Okay, as the water boils, I'm going to show you sort of my go-to simple Japanese tea ceremony ritual. We have these on the site. They're called soup bowls. And they're basically, I use them as a matcha cup. They're my favorite. Kinto makes these double-walled cups. So it's cool on the outside, warm on the inside. It insulates it and it helps it stay warm longer or cold longer. And these are, I think, $17. They're mouth-blown glass. They're made in Japan. And Japan was the originator of matcha. So what's amazing is, you know, you always want to have a bigger bowl when it comes to matcha. I have another one I got. Hold on one sec. Let's see. One sec. I have another one. Hold on. I also love using pottery. So the original matcha bowls are pottery. This is a porcelain bowl from Sri Lanka. This is my tea. I taste about 25 teas and ingredients a week. Sometime I'll have you guys do a tasting with me over Zoom, but these are what I use for tasting. And so you can use one of these too for matcha. I tend to like the bigger one, and I like pottery as well, which I can't, let me see, what did I do with that? Oh well, I can't find it. Anyway, I have a beautiful, beautiful bowl, tea bowl I got in Sedona. Okay, so I put the water at, here, let me do this. I put the water at 160 to 170 for matcha, okay? So if you were to boil your hot water on the stove or anywhere, you would take the lid off and wait like 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm gonna just do this. Okay. All right. So here's the matcha. Okay. Where did my matcha go? Ah. I put my matcha. I'm not opening a new matcha. Oh, okay. I'll use this one. Some secret stash matcha. Okay. So basically, here's the matcha. This is a new size we're working on. And you take this. I always use 2 because I use a bigger bowl. But 1 serving is 1 of these, 1 scoop, okay? So then you do this. Just a little bit. And what you want to do is you want to get it into a froth. See the frothiness? And what that does is it evenly disperses the matcha. And I mean, you can use, I mean, but for not very much money, this does really help. I just didn't have these earlier on, and I wanted to make sure I was buying fair trade ones. Okay. All right, so you see that? Okay, so you have that much. Now, if you're wanting anything sweet, I'll show you how to do that. But here's, then I tend to fill it. Okay. There you go. Okay, so normally I would drink this without anything in it, but typically, so because I've been doing intermittent fasting, I have been using the matcha in the afternoons when I'm eating, actually. And so what I do is, I should not drink this right now. I had 4 cups of this today. I will save this. Okay, but I want to. Just one taste. I had four of these today because I was making recipes with them. Oh my God. Anyway, so then I use monk fruit. And the cane sugar is there because I was showing in a video how to stop using it. And I use monk fruit. So if you want to sweeten, you can use stevia, but I prefer this, okay? So if I'm having it and I want to dress it up and I want to make it a little bit sweeter, I'll do this. A little bit of monk fruit, calorie free, it does not increase your sugar at all. And then I'll show you something else I do. Okay, one sec. Okay. Keto Creamer, hard to find, really good, really, really good. So Keto Creamer is amazing. I would put that in here, or unsweetened, and these are unsweetened. So the monk fruit is calorie free and it's sweet. It tastes just like sugar. And I will put a little bit of Keto Creamer in it, which is 10 calories, no carbs, and it has calcium and potassium in it. It's basically almond milk, coconut cream, coconut MCT oil, sunflower lecithin, natural flavors, calcium, sea salt, potassium, and Gelen gum, whatever that is. Anyway, so I'll use that, or I'll use vanilla. This one's sweetened, but normally I get the unsweetened one. There's an unsweetened vanilla. So I don't use soy. I can't use soy. During the tea cleanse, I discovered after all these years, I was allergic to it because I just kept having reactions to it. And as a 13-year vegan who had some health issues when I was vegan, now it makes all the sense in the world why I was having health issues. Anyway, then I rinse this. Here. And there you go, all done. So you can add creamer or whatever. Okay, how was that? Yeah, so Brandy, if you don't have the creamer, it's okay. What you can do is, yeah, I love the macadamia creamer as well. Yeah, there's an unsweetened macadamia creamer. There's all sorts of options. Okay, well, thanks you guys. So I hope that was helpful. I am not drinking this. And yes, you can OD on matcha. I was a total example of that today. All right, so I love you guys. Okay, have a great night. I'm gonna go eat. Okay. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. See you next week. Ciao.